Alright, level 100 1x player. I don't play him that much anymore. I'm gonna be reacting to this video on why this guy hates 1x.
Time. Today I'm gonna be talking about 1x. Now, you might be wondering, why are you talking about
Yeah,
1x?
I am
What
wondering
could be
why. I
bothering
mean,
you?
there's a lot of
Well,
bigger issues in the game. Two time. If you want to go killers, we got. I think that Jason's currently the strongest, in my humble opinion. It's between Jason 1x, and I think that Jason slightly takes the edge. That's just me. I think that older John Doe was way better with the passive, but they gutted him. I think that that is a terrible balance decision. Just basically turn his ESP into a counter, but yeah, we'll see why you're talking about 1x.
it's the balance. I think
Okay.
that 1x is the worst balanced killer, the least balanced
Okay.
killer
All right. Yeah.
out of all of them.
Out of all of them. Out of all of them. The least balanced. Uh, I think. I mean, currently Noli, he just released. He's the least balanced out of all of them. He hasn't had the many changes. Worst, John Doe, the passive nuke. I don't know what they were thinking. They could have. I feel like it would have been better on all moves except for the punch to be wind up like the stomp, because then the stomp. I always thought it would be the stomp, but no, you can't even do that. It turns the ESP move into a parry move at that point, which is just really dumb. So like if you make a guest parry, you just instantly hit R, and then you get a parry on them, and then you get speed, and then you get to beat them if they're trying to conserve stamina, because then you got speed. Um, if we're gonna be talking about the least balanced, who's balanced the worst, um, I feel like Jason is currently the contender for that, and with double trouble coming up, he is going to have major rebounces on gashing or whatever. Yeah, gashing wound, because you could just do gashing wound with so many combos. If you haven't seen videos on that shit, gashing wounds get needed nerf for double trouble. Um, reason I think that 1x is not as bad as Jason or any other characters, that if you're good at predicting people, then you'll be fine. Because if you're like, you just gotta like basically see how he plays against other people, the 1x, then you're like, oh, then they're just gonna do this, and then it becomes really easy to do just predicting. And if they outpredict you, then you just suck at predicting. Obviously, to be honest, that's more of your fault than their fault.
He
If you
is
suck at predicting, you just die.
considerably better than everybody else.
Completely
Simply
disagree.
for the
Completely
most
disagree.
cheapest reasons I could have possibly imagined.
Okay.
This video has no script, so I might go off topic
This
sometime.
has no script either. I'm going to
And
go
we're
on
gonna
top.
start off with his slash. Like, I am a 1x main, simply because he is meta.
He's not meta. The slash. I'm just gonna let him get through the slash point.
He
I'll
is
talk.
just the best, and we're gonna start off with just his slash. His slash
Okay.
does decent damage. It does only 20 with the slash and 8 additional with poison. He isn't really far back from other killers like Cool Kid or Noli. But that does mean that killing survivors is gonna be a lot difficult because the raw damage is low. However, he has the glitched passive. I hate it because
I feel like I agree on this point. Glitch can be toned down a little bit, but if you're constantly getting hit and not using a way to evade or having a teammate help you, well, teammates isn't really your fault. But if you're not trying to get away and you're constantly getting hit by the slash alone, that's just completely your fault. It has the same hitbox as most killers, I'm pretty sure. Uh, pretty sure the one that's different. I forgot which one's different. It's your Cool Kid or Noli. I think I no clue, but I know that 1x has similar slash, and they all deal 28 damage. He just scales up more, which I think is balance. It's similar to John Doe. Similar to John Doe. And Jason.
a lot of the killers just chain their abilities together and don't call it a skill issue. His abilities are just that spammable. I'm gonna talk about
I completely disagree. They're not that spammable. Their cooldowns are pretty long on certain moves. Like uh, on this pause, it is 16 to land entanglement again. Other projectiles have shorter. Walk speed overrides, like I also forgot. I'm not even gonna use that
it
as anymore. I
later,
don't play Cool Kid. I
but
have 100. I have every killer at 100. I just don't play the game that much anymore.
as of right now, his slash is very consistent. I don't know about all of you, but even like Noli's slash is worse than what.
Yeah, because there's a different hitbox, and I'm pretty sure it's the biggest hitbox in the game with biggest windup. So if the reason Nollies get juked out on their slash compared to 1x is because of how big it is and how you have to like basically get a good angle, and if you don't get a good angle on it, then you're just not gonna hit them.
1x is, and that's not talking about how 1x is supposed to be like the slowest killer, and with the largest wind-up time, it doesn't really help. You just
Noli has a longer wind up time.
land
I'm 99% sure.
everything in a row, and it's not fun. Like, if you get hit by like mass infection or something, his next slash is gonna do a bunch of damage, and it sucks. And for the reasons that we'll get to later, 1x has a really easy time getting to survivors, because basically every single one of his moves speed him up.
If you're getting hit by 1x, you're playing the game wrong. I'm not gonna lie. Mostly every killer has a way to speed up and get to them quicker. Jason, Raging Pace, John Doe, if they step into a trap, or if they get hit by spikes. Eddie has ESP, Jason's ESP. The only person that does is a cool kid. He has Override. Noli has Void Rush and Observant. Every character is a way to have mobility to catch up to survivors very quickly. I think that Noli has the easiest mobility of any killer in the game. If you think that he's a problem, then I don't know what you're on about, because they nerfed Rejuvenate the Rotten. That was the biggest issue, in my opinion, with him. That made him stupidly OP.
Actually, let's talk about them. My biggest pet peeve in this entire game, the least fun mechanic I have ever seen, is entanglement.
Don't know what you're talking about. There's a lot of worse abilities in the game. I think that teleport on 707 is extremely useless outside of being in LMS. Because unless they're like really close to you and you need to get away, it makes a very audible sound. They can get to you very easily. I think it's a very shitty move compared to any move in the game. The killer side, I don't really know any moves that I feel like are useless. I mean, I feel like Bad is one of the worst ones. Sure, it does a lock amount of moves.
Entanglement is a fat projectile that's
Oh, wait a minute. If you want to go projectiles, Noli's, whatever, Void Star throw, whatever the fuck, I forgot what it's called. It does the exact same thing. It pulls them over, so even if you don't hit them, you can detonate it again, just bring them to a certain spot, and then be able to hit them. Or, like, even if you were Noli, you could shove that chance off the ledge and then go,
runs the survivor in place while speeding up 1x. Now you might be thinking, well, it's not that bad, you can just dodge it. No. Just no.
If you suck, so when 1x is chasing you, you turn around and look at the 1x as they're chasing you to see when they use a move. If you're not doing that, because you don't memorize the maps, there's an audible wind up on all 1x skins of them using entanglement. Betrayed has a sound, and 1x also has a sound effect. They all are very distinguishable. If you don't know how to read that, then you're bad at the game, and also it's not that hard to dodge unless they're get a really good prediction if they're doing a chase and they get basically a pretty good angle on you.
Any competent 1x will start predicting you the more.
If you're bad at out predicting the 1x, then you're just bad at playing against the 1x. I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, 1x's whole kit is range, basically, except for it's basically just focused on range. That's why he's the slowest, because he wants to be a zoner. And they want him to be a zoner, and in turn of being a zoner, you have to predict.
The moment they realize you can dodge it. And like, forget it about predicting for a second. 1x can just throw it randomly. And
that's how walk speed override. That's how every ability works. You can use that at any time. Are you complaining about someone using an ability? It's like people in Battlegrounds games complaining about someone using an ultimate when it's a mechanic of a game. That is just stupid. That's a stupid ass point.
You'll have to guess where he will throw it.
You can look at the 1x.
You can walk to juke, you can run in the opposite direction, you can keep running, and you'll never know when he will throw it.
You have to look at how he plays, and if you don't look at how he plays, you can just look at the 1x with your camera. It's not that hard.
And when he does land it, it almost always results in him catching up on you.
That's what the move does. If you're getting punished for not moving out of the way, you're being really bad at predicting. If you're mad at a move being bad at predicting you, multiple moves in the game do that. Like if you Phantom Block his guess, you get punished for that by a Jason. Let's see. What other characters? If you're not moving out of the way, Cool Kid can use Walk Speed Override just get you. Like Cool Kid going up to you and dealing mass damage to you and also getting right up to you is the same thing as an entanglement. It just doesn't have the taps. If you don't move out of the way, that is completely your fault.
Unlike every other projectile in this game, 1x gets the biggest reward.
Nully, like I said earlier, the void star. If you throw it, you just get a huge insane boost, and you can catch up with them easy if you throw it at the floor and then they get pulled by the hitbox. Their fault. Their fault for not moving or whatever. I feel like Nully is. It's not even their fault.
Out of all of
It's
them,
not even their fault.
I know it can't be aimed up and down, and like the elevation ruins you, but that's just not the case. Okay, there aren't many spots that actively ruin 1x. You can just find the same elevation and just throw your stuff. Like,
the one map that had this issue, which was Planet Voss, got reworked. Horror Hotel isn't that big of an issue, I think, because entanglement and mass infection of audible sounds when charging and being thrown. So
it's not that difficult, but the main issue is that it rewards you too dang much.
So multiple moves reward you for using it too much. I think Walk Speed Override, Void Rush, Void Star, Raging Pace, Gashing Wound with Raging Pace, Gashing Wound in general if they're low on stamina. There's so many moves on the killer side. I didn't even go over John Doe. If you get a good spike trap, they're cooked. Good traps reward you heavily. This guy hasn't played the game.
Not only 1x has the highest damage if considering poisoning, not only that, he also gets glitched. So if you struggle with entanglement, you might catch 2 of the hits instead of 1. And if you're really slow, you might just get catched with the mass infection.
That is the player's fault. Also, they made it so that after 5 seconds you're able to move, which is, if they're far away, they catch up to you. That's a little bit amount of time to slowly walk out of there and avoid a mass infection while clicking. So if you can't do that, you're just bad. I'm not gonna lie. That's not the game's fault. They can't balance around a player's skill. Like, they aren't just gonna nerf 1x for one player because they're bad, but then make it really easy for the other player. Like, if they gave them like 3 instead of like the 6 or whatever, that'd just be really easy for skilled players, and then easier for new players. That just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't matter. Okay, imagine that you get hit with entanglement, right?
Okay.
There was basically nothing you could do if
click the boxes. Have you played the game?
The pop-ups just didn't appear. I don't know why it's still
That has never been a bug for me.
an issue. It's not really like
Maybe it happened during the Noli update.
my connection issue, but sometimes when I get hit with entanglement, the pop-up just doesn't appear.
That's just that's just ping. That is just ping.
Sometimes it's 1 or 2 or all 5 of them, and it's really unfair because that just gives the killer the opportunity to catch up to you. The pop-up is also a lot more difficult for PC players because they have to play freaking Osu
I play PC. It is not that bad. You just have to da.
mid-game instead of just clicking
It depends if you're slow moving your mouse. If you're slow moving your mouse, then why do you have a mouse and keyboard?
this jump button or
Or you
something.
can, if you have a
If we
controller,
compare
you can
entanglement to
just
every other
do it because
projectile in this game, you will realize that you just like maybe double or triple the reward than like others. Corrupt nature and corrupt energy, both John Doe's and Cool Kid's projectiles are slow. John Doe has a large windup that can be cancelled, and
Cool Kids is still pretty good. Sure, it may be slow, but if you use it point blank, you can get it hit most times. And when I play Cool Kid, I have level 100 on Cool Kid also. I have level 100 on Noli. For Noli is just like way it gives you way more. And Noli's just a better Cool Kid.
Kid has just a slow projectile overall. When they land it, they also don't get that much of a benefit.
They slow the survivor, and John Doe gets speed boost.
Yes, John Doe can deal up to 48 damage, and
John Doe gets speed boost.
that's really cool, but it has a really long windup, meaning you have a lot of space to work with, a lot of time. You can
Cool Kids does not have any windup. Cool Kid has 0 windup. John Doe has a windup which is balanced because it's multiple.
what to do next, and even if
What do you want? 1x to have entanglement do multiple functions so that way it has a long ass windup. Like the reason mass infection has a long windup and entanglement does is because mass infection is a move that does 30. I think it's 35 and 5 close up.
If you do get hit, you still
30,
make a lot of distance, so his
35,
speed
5.
boost doesn't help with anything. Corrupt nature just slows down the survivor, and yes, it is.
That can literally make him break a chase. If they're slowed, you can catch up to them and have the potential to do rock speed override if you hit them correctly. Like I played nerfed him and buffed and pre-nerf, he is still the same killer basically.
It's good at mid-range, but it only allows you to catch up. 1x.
Like, no offense, dude. I used to play this way.
It is good at mid-range, but it only allows
See, look,
you.
You're getting out-predicted here. This is what completely
To catch up.
breaks his point.
1x
Also, he's not mentioning. He did not mention noise.
allows you to catch up, be in the survivor's face, and also deal a lot of damage while regenerating stamina. Nova isn't comparable here because it's just a different type of projectile.
It's the same thing as Cool Kids. You literally cannot compare it. It's the same thing as Cool Kids, but it has a explosion radius. That is stupid.
That is just meant to do chip damage at the survivor, so I'm not
No, it's not. It's used that it can literally help make or break a chase the same way Entanglement can.
comparing with that. However, what other killers also have is a big damage move, that being Void Rush, Walk Speed Override, Gashing Wound, or in this case, Mass Infection. And
Okay, here. John Doe doesn't have it. John Doe doesn't have his big damage move. Well, if you're considering spikes, sure, but that just requires the survivor to not be able to tell where John Doe is trying to aim. Depends on John Doe also and the survivor. But let's see. Comparing Mass Infection to all of them, Mass Infection requires aim. It requires aim, and if they got entanglement, it requires you to use Mass Infection quicker. So yeah, there's that. And compared to Gashing Wound. Gashing Wound requires survivor to have little to no stamina or to whiff an ability. It can be buffed even more to deal more damage. Same with Mass Infection, but it's just Gashing Wound just gets Jason in a way better spot. Or Slasher. Nova, just a really good move. Void Rush is a really strong move. I forget something. Yeah, Cool Kid Walk Speed Override. I've already mentioned it. It's one of the best abilities in the game.
Mass Infection obviously is the best freaking mass.
No, it's not. I think it's between Void Rush, because you can literally, like, one of the upcoming achievements is Wombo Combo. You can literally hit everyone, then hit another person and deal even more damage to them. What else? I think that other than that, the strongest one's either Gashing Wound or Void Rush.
Oh my gosh. It's the best big dealing damage move in the entire game, because simply it is ranged. You can use it up close to punish stuns for an insane 70.
Every single move like that can. This guy has not played the game.
72 damage. One mistake leads you to taking 72 damage. And it can sometimes just not be your fault, because again, if we go back to the entanglement, the pop-ups can just not appear. And that's not even talking that most of the community.
It's your fault for being hit. And that's a ping issue. That's, if you're playing a different server, that is kind of your fault. Unless there's no servers in your location, then that is not your fault. Like, if you have servers in your location, so you should try and be on those servers. You can tell the ping with the... I don't even know what my ping is in half my servers, and I don't get this bug that he's talking about. Void Rush punishes way more. It does like 50, I think. Is it 40 or 50? I look, I forgot.
Cannot dodge Mass Infection up close after entanglement, simply because they cannot escape it quick enough. The speed boost after
That is a player fault. Again, if you're slow, that's completely your fault.
you get after leaving
Also,
entanglement
depends on the device.
doesn't.
Like, yeah, even though I am a PC player, it depends on the device. So, I think that PC may sure have the worst time compared to Xbox and PlayStation and mobile. But it's not that hard to escape it. If you can't escape it, I honestly think it's your fault for dying. It's just your fault.
Help. Most of the time, you will be getting hit with like 25 stud range, 30 stud range, and you can't really do anything about it. If you have a lot more range than that, then the killer can just
Let's see. Gus can block it to negate the damage. Two-time can try and hit a backstab on him after getting out of entanglement. Wait, no, entanglement makes it helpless. Never mind. Well, if you're talking about being hit point blank, I don't even know how much fucking studs there are in this game. What fucking stud distance is? I don't calculate that shit. Like, let's say you're like where, like a little bit past where the chance is, you can run up and just hit him. You can shoot him. There's so much you can do to cancel it out.
cut off you, and now you're in the stamina disadvantage, and they'll just catch up to you without entanglement. And both of these projectiles can be used to force a move, force a survivor to lose stamina, meaning that even if you...
Yeah, I just said that it forces them to use a move. That's called saving an ability to not take damage. Is what you do in this game. In Sentinels. In Sentinels, you do that. Like, have you not played that role before? Like, shedletsky, you're meant to slash them to stop them from dealing more damage to you or someone else. Yes, you're meant to block to save yourself or another or to charge. Two-time, you're meant to do that to get a second life and to save others again. All of them are meant to save others. If you just don't understand that, you don't play the game clearly.
miss, you're still...
Well, it's not having played the game. You don't understand what role types are.
advantageous. And if we combine Mass Effect...
If you miss an ability when they're right there, that's stationary. Also, they're stationary. That's completely your fault.
Action's big...
Except for Subject Zero, that does modify the gashing wound on him, and there's like two other Jason skins: Pursuer and White Pumpkin from Minecraft Story Mode.
damage, entanglement stun, and slashes applying glitched, you will get entanglements that deal basically the same as if it's up close. His next ability, Unstable Eye, I think it's also pretty stupid.
John Doe basically has the same thing except for no blindness.
I know
Let's see. Jason has it. Noli gets it with Observant. Noli gets the ESP. Cool can still the only person without ESP.
that while using it you slow down, but John Doe has basically the same indicator, except he doesn't get blindness. So
do you want him to get buffed or not?
fair
Like, do you want him to get buffed or nerfed? You keep on complaining about him, and you're like, oh, nope, he's just bad.
question would be, why does it even give speed boost in the first place? Like, I understand that you have to move forward, but at the same time, you should...
I think it's fair compared to John Doe, which doesn't get it. John Doe isn't blinded compared to you're being blinded. So then after you use speed, the visibility, you're still... After you use the visibility of survivors, you're still blinded.
Use your indicator mid-chase. At least John Doe got his unstoppable passive reworked,
At least
so he gets a reason to use 4
yeah, to find out survivors was the main reason, but now it's literally just parry, which makes its main function just completely gone. I think that just made the worst move in the game. If you're trying to think that's a good reason, then I don't want to talk about that. I think it's a really bad balance change. What else really? What else about John Doe? He's just like, when you do compare his nerf to other killers, no killer's gone that big of a nerf in my opinion. Like a complete passive rework that makes the passive basically be shit. It's not even on digital footprint.
4 error mid-chase. 1x shouldn't have that. I do not know why it's still here, and it previously was a lot more balanced because blindness used to be more than the speed boost, so you could get stunned out of a blind spot or something.
I think it's better that speed is more than the blindness, because you can't see, so you can't see, so you should be able to go faster. That's a better return.
But now it just doesn't punish you.
That gives risk and reward. You can't see after the ESP is gone, but you still get a little speed. So that means you can catch up to them if you can identify their shape.
At all.
Or color.
There are a bunch of archetypes in killers, but you'll eventually realize that 1x is all of them simultaneously.
He is ranged. He's just ranged.
And
he's literally ranged except for the Rejuvenate the Rod, in my opinion.
Entanglement and Mass Infection allow you to play a rushdown while staying at a range.
Yeah, well, sure, you can play a rushdown with that. That is one of the main purposes of it, but you're acting like other killers don't do that. Like, Holy could do that with Nova, Cool Kid, basically every killer except for Jason.
Most of the survival abilities work at mid to close range, mostly close range. And 1x just doesn't really need to like catch up to you. He can just use entanglement that also gives
So do you want it to be a melee move on the range focus character?
you helpless. So after you catch up, you're also useless against them and can only run away.
I feel like giving helpless is fair. It's completely fair and balanced. I mean, if you get hit, that's your fault.
Let's take John Doe an example. He has really good moves if you plan them ahead and don't get
I think that John Doe needs a rework.
stunned
I
up.
think that his moves are not as good as the other characters in the cast currently. I think he's very lacking. Spikes is an okay move. It completely depends on predicting similar to 1x, but the issue is that it can be really bullshit. Like I feel like the way it calculates is really dumb. Like it shouldn't be going to where it should be on a pass. So like if you were to go one way, then shift lock the other way, it goes to where it should be there. If it was continuing, it should instead be turning around and shit.
He is a trapper. If you don't really use that, you are kind of done for. Same for Cool Kid. He's a rush.
Yeah, and if you don't use 1x's predicting
Down
style, then you're gonna keep on being a whiny little bitch. So
Character with a little bit of planning involved, using his minions, and also he has a large damaging move like Walk Speed Override to punish stuns or use it in a really enclosed space.
1x isn't even. I think 1x is an A tier, by the way, for that community poll. He's probably gonna stay about that. 1x is not superior.
However,
John Doe isn't even that good of a trapper. He only has really. The spikes aren't even that good of a trapping move. I'm not gonna lie, because if it seals off John Doe, then John Doe's it's gotta kind of wait it out and then use footprints.
1x can do both of that. 1x can rush down with entanglements or pressure up close with mass infection.
That's kind of the function of the move.
Because both of those moves have a pretty low cooldown, and
every killer in the game has really low cooldowns on all their moves except for summoning moves.
Barely don't have any end lag. Okay.
Most killers in the game don't have projectile moves with little to no end lag. What game is this guy playing? Genuinely, what game is he playing?
Let's say that just
the only person that has a decent wind up on a controllable projectile is Dolly.
You loop someone, and usually they will be paired with a bunch of new players that don't really know how to counter the fast entanglement alongside mass infection, all of that stuff. Now you're getting betrayed by your own team because he now just rejuvenates the rotten and you're now supposed to deal with minions.
Minions are not that hard if you stay out of their radius, then you can avoid them, and they're pretty easy to outrun. And if you're playing a Sentinel, which is the most popular playstyle, you can kill them. Any Sentinel can kill them. Even shedletsky, I've been able to kill a minion without being hit. It's not that hard.
Another big thing, I don't think they're being talked about much.
I'm like a level 60 shedletsky.
I don't know why. Because if you have a big team and you just plow through them effortlessly, last man standing, or at least close to last man standing, is gonna be basically unwinnable because they're stacked evenly across the map. So now no
That's kind of the whole purpose of the rod.
longer
They're meant to be minions that go around the map or stay at one spot and just wander aimlessly until they find someone and start chasing them, and then they like stop and shut down. I don't know how people don't understand this.
Have any opportunities to loop, and that's on the
killer 1x for saving the move right.
That already is good enough with all of his projectiles.
If you're playing against a pro looping, they can loop you out easily by being able to predict your moves.
If
Noli handles loopers way easier. I think Noli's probably the best. I changed my mind. Noli and Jason, sure, but Noli leads over Jason. Noli's the best killer. Find me.
If you get caught by any of his minions, it is basically game over because he can just use them to pressure you as they don't let go once they have caught you.
Yeah, that's how you play a asymmetrical horror game as the killer. You're supposed to keep on chasing them after you use a few moves to deal damage to them. Have you not played Dead by Daylight or I've played Pillar Chase. I played like 2 rounds of Pillar Chase. I hated that game. I don't know. Multiple games do that. Outcome Memories, one I played recently. Sure, let's go with that.
The only thing that can stop them is a stun or...
Yeah, it's people playing the role right. If you don't pick the character that does well against another character. If you're not playing a Sentinel because you're playing a support, then that's on you. Other than Duscard needs an evasive because most characters have a way to escape the killer or stun them.
You
Actually, everyone except for Duscard.
running away. However, you usually have to spend stamina running away from the killer.
So do you not want the killer to be able to chase people? Do you just want the killer to be a stationary object that can only attack you if a move works? You're complaining about having to use stamina to run away, then what's the point of playing a game which involves people chasing you down?
So you can set up the survivor to run into your minion, and now they're forced to do these
That's called playing strategic.
micro walks just to run away from the minion, while you can regenerate stamina and just kill them outright. Speed stacking used to
That's called strategy.
be a strategy, and I'm really glad it got removed because the pain train of
like, I think that was the most overpowered thing about 1x. I'll give it that.
Speed 3 1x was not fun to deal with. I still think
Yeah, well, any killer could win effortlessly with Speed 3. You realize that, right? Any killer in the game, even whatever you think the worst killer is, it can win with Speed 3.
that 10 seconds of Speed 1 is pretty dang neat, and it's very
Unstoppable.
strong. Not enough
Raging Pace giving you like infinite stamina, but sure, slower.
to be
It's also pretty good.
unbalanced, however, since you're still sacrificing a minion. But the minions themselves are already very strong of a tool. 1x also gets access to the easiest last man standing, because not only does he have minions, he also has extended time when facing Shedletsky.
I think that's completely fair because it's lore and they want to be killer specific. I feel like that's fine. It used to be 135 for everyone, so.
Shedletsky is a close range stunner against a long ranged killer.
I feel like that's fair. I feel like that's completely fair. You could still kill minions pretty easily. Shedletsky when I played him. Last time I played him. I'm still working on Game to Milestone 4, but I was able to kill a few minions the last time I faced 1x. So, and also if you could punish it for whiffing a move, like using a move like Mass Infection or just most moves, or if he gets close, but he has to predict you.
This matchup does not make any sense.
It does.
If we take 007 and 7 and Cool Kid, the understandable why
007 and Cool Kid is way more balanced because Cool Kid has no ESP. And 7 and 7 has clothes that makes him go invisible and he can teleport around the map.
there is 15 additional seconds because N7 can just hide and Cool Kid does not have any detection ability.
You could still win very easily by hiding.
But why here we get extended timer, I still to this day have no clue. Most of Creation of Hatreds end in either me being very low or just outright losing. There hasn't been a single Creation of Hatred that
I've won multiple Creation of Hatreds as a level 66 Shedletsky with, I think, 7 days of playtime. I bet this guy probably has more.
I had lost as killer. Not a single one. And I have a lot of hours and kills on this game. Other killers are balanced because their moves have counterplay.
This has counterplay if they try to use Mass Infection like a dumbass when they get really close to you. You could stun them at Shedletsky.
As an example, Walk Speed Override punishes you heavily upon
Mass Infection punishes you heavily for whiffing it. If you whiff it, then they basically have gone away from you, so we're catching up to them.
on missing. Corrupt Nature doesn't really slow you down, but at the same time it doesn't give that much of a reward. If we take John Doe's Spikes, let's say, or Void Rush, both of them are punishable on miss, but 1x just doesn't risk.
Yeah, he does.
Doesn't risk at all.
Yeah, he does.
Entanglement cannot be cancelled because
Well, if you whiff it, that's completely your fault.
it just comes
If you whiff it, they've gotten away. They conserve stamina while you're trying to run up back to them.
off a lot more quicker and you cannot react to it. Mass Infection is the only move that can be cancelled, but you usually don't shoot it at an active chance. You can still catch up to him very easily without the Mass Infection.
Same for every killer in the game. You can easily catch up with them without Mass Infection. Cool Kid can just, Cool Kid without Rock Speed Override can just walk over there and start a chase.
I had a lot of games where I didn't even use Mass Infection, or some games where I didn't.
I've had a lot of games where I've got no abilities and won very easily as like almost every killer. So
have to use the slash. Another problem with 1x is that people like to play him because of his money gain. He gains a ton of money from using entanglement and mass infection. Let's give you an example. Okay, just imagine a scenario where you have a
okay, well, people used to use Elliot because they got a lot of money, and you're not
four-man
about
team.
that here.
I know it's like not a lot at all, but you can just like kill all of them using the entanglement plus mass infection combo. Let's say that one got away somehow was a pro enough, but you still get $8 for entanglement. For mass infection up close, you get $16, so that's 24 for each combo, and that's plus 15 for actually killing the survivor. So you get $39 per kill. That's also adding the $40 bonus when you win a round, and you'll end up with at least a couple $100 every game. And that's considering that the lobby was small. Sometimes you can rack up to $600 per game. No other killer can compare even close to this. And that's because mass infection up close does not kill a survivor, and that's the move that gives more money upon a certain requirement. Other moves like Behead or Corrupt Energy require you to kill a survivor with the said move. Mass infection up close can be used multiple times on the survivor. Actually, you can use it basically twice, because after you do mass infection up close, the survivor is left with 15 HP. 15 HP is just enough to kill them with another entanglement and another mass infection up close. Now, you won't get the normal mass infection payout of $4, but that is still an additional $20 on top of our previous 24. So if you add that, then we'll have $59 per kill. And now you can really quickly realize how busted this is to gain money. In the recent patch notes, they nerfed 1x, apparently. It used to be that 1x didn't have barely any end lag. The end lag was so short indeed that animation didn't stop and the 1x would just slide across the floor. It's still pretty much unbalanced, because the 1x still gets a lot of reward for barely anything. Sometimes you can get messed up by however the ping works. Sometimes you can just
I've said before, it's your fault playing on a different server.
Screwed off by that. And 1x, to be honest, isn't really that hard to play. Yes, he is apparently 4-star.
It's this guy's serious. Every killer in this game does have an extremely low skill tiering in my opinion, except for Noli. As much as I'm glazing Noli right now, I do think that once you gain a little grasp of his moves, he's pretty easy to use. Every killer.
Difficult rating, but all you need to realize is when a survivor is gonna dodge. And most of them aren't. Most of them just can't react to it. I barely started reacting, and that's considering that my reaction time is way below average. I still barely react to the
No wonder you're complaining about entanglement because you're below average on reaction time, dude. Like, what?
That's not considering that laggy killers also get benefit from this because their entanglement just comes off before the animation does, and you just get free hits. In my previous video where I talked about the community tier list, I talked about how it could fix 1x. There might be some other thing that you could work with, but I can't really come up with it, and just in the current state,
he's not even S tier.
1x still remains meta. He is still the best killer, the easiest one to play with.
He's not the easiest. There's Cool Kid.
With the most reward, that is
I won my first round as Cool Kid. It took me 5 rounds to win as Jason. It took me. First round was Noli though because nobody knew what they were doing. It was on release.
Punished.
John Doe was like my 5th round. 1x it was like my 3rd. So Cool Kid's the easiest to use. 1x is 2nd. Jason, John Doe are 3rd. Noise, I think. It's pretty easy to use. It just has a high skill tier if you want to maximize how good you are at the game.
On most occasions, and
also here, I just want to add, because they hop off generators, if someone tries to make that complaint about it in this video, when I look at the comments later, just for fun. Hopping off generators, multiple killers force you to do that. Hallucinations and only, Cool Kid Walk Speed Override, Jason, Gashing Wound, I mean, multiple projectiles, John Doe spikes, etc., etc.
In conclusion, just 1x is an unpunishable,
quite punishable,
too rewarded, too
I don't know what you mean by too rewarded.
Easy to play.
Has a medium skill tiering in my opinion.
Killer that also gives a lot of money.
If you're complaining about money in the game, I don't know why you're complaining about money in the game. I'm gonna be completely honest with you though. I don't know why you're complaining so much.
And can be picked up by basically anyone, and
every character in this game can be picked up by basically anyone.
Still be pretty dang efficient.
Cool Kid. Moment I played Cool Kid, I instantly wrote my first round effortlessly. It wasn't even that the prop lobby was that bad. Some of the people had 5 days in there. I had 30 minutes to the game.
I don't think that any of these changes that I propose,
maybe not 30, maybe an hour,
would actually be added into the game, but I would really like 1x to be nerfed. And I would
He's already nerfed. I feel like the round starting to stabilize good. I feel like John Doe should have that, and Jason should have that for raging pace.
Really want him to be nerfed that he's a little bit below average, or at least buff all the other killers and survivors, so that
you want him to be below average because he's currently the strongest in the game. That's kind of stupid.
At least at the level of 1x.
most of the killers in the game, except for John Doe, is at the level John Doe.
Every time I see a 1x player, I automatically assume that he's gonna be a hell of a round because no matter who picks it up, there's still a massive threat. No other
I have that reaction to Noli.
killer gives me this amount of trouble. And
Noli.
that's in my 18 days of playtime.
Oh my lord! Oh my lord! He's complaining about entanglement with 18 days. Oh my lord!
Still haven't been figured out a correct way to consistently counter 1x.
Be good at the game. How are you not predicting with 18 hours? There's no fucking way.
It's just that bad. I guess nerfing it would create a community outrage, but I'm just tired that 1x is meta and that everybody's playing him. Just give other killers some love too, man.
So do you not like people playing certain characters? Like, this guy not like every round on Noli's release basically being Noli, except for like maybe a mafioso or someone trying to hack Horde farm.
And or just start to hate 1x or something. I don't know anymore. Thanks for watching this rant. I really didn't mean to actually start making it, but it got to a point.
It's not even that bad of a killer. You just have a skill issue. Goodbye.